Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of The Gathering of Bros. As always, I'm your host, Escovel, joined by my good buddies co-host, Leo Veritas. Say hello, Leo.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And the one and only Bulbasip.
What's going on, fellas?
That's right, we are back at it again, everybody. Three friends who love video games, nerd culture, poking fun at each other, the same old things. Back at it again for another episode. On the dock today, we got some exciting things to talk about. I'm not so much going to talk about Star Wars or anything. I'll leave that to next week. I know we did have some new dates that dropped for the new movies, but I'm sure within next week we're going to get some more news, so we'll leave that to next week. But definitely we have some things from Leo, who's going to talk about some Power Rangers, a little bit about Smash Bros. Updates for the Switch. And then, yeah, we're pretty much all going to talk about it because something big happened this week. Am I right, guys?
Teaser.
Leo?
Yes,
something
sir.
big happened. We definitely made a big surprise for me.
I said we made a big surprise for me. That's funny.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be blessed with a Nintendo Switch from these boneheads that I'm doing the show with, guys. And they videotaped the whole thing, and it was quite an event. I was falsely brought over to Leo's house from what he had said, to record our Gathering of Bros show, and lo and behold, it was completely a facade, and they pulled out the Switch and was like, "Here you go." And you should have seen me. I didn't know what to say, guys. But yeah, so this is cool because now I can engage with you guys in regards to Nintendo Switch things, such as Smash Bros. Am I right, Leo?
Woot woot.
So
You say completely wrong.
what's the real reason you guys got it? So you can just beat the crap out of me all the time and then talk about it?
Yes.
That's what's been happening, yes.
I would like to disagree with Bulba there because I had the game for 2 days now, and I've already been putting up a fight for him. But I will say that Leo has just been viciously just beating the crap out of me every time I play him.
Same likes because he beats the crap out of everyone.
Well, no, I don't. We'll go into that, but I'm facilitating this episode, huh? Huh, S?
I mean, since basically it's your topic, yeah, dude, let's just go for it.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds good.
Plus, it'd be nice to hear your voice, after all this time. So let's go for it, man. Just hop in.
That's funny. Yeah, I know. It's been long since we've heard each other talk, huh?
Haha. Especially after that long episode last week for Avengers. I think I talked enough. So let's pass the gauntlet over to Leo.
Oh, that was a good segue.
I get it. That was funny.
I like that. All right, so I don't have a lot to talk about in terms of Battle for the Grid stuff. So since we skipped over doing this last week in lieu of talking about Endgame, they had a stream. Enway, the developer for Battle for the Grid, had a stream that they showed off Dragon Armor Trini and the Cenozoic Blue Ranger. And then they also dropped the update for the Switch, which wasn't supposed to drop, I think, until this week. And they dropped that, which added story mode, or at least some of it, and also original voiceover work from the Red Ranger, Austin St. John, and Green Ranger, Jason David Frank, for their characters, and also a little bit in the story. There are some other voices that are in there. I think the original Goldar is in there. The original Zordon is in there. And then there's just some other voice actors that have lent their voices to this game, which is pretty cool. It's fun. I won't lie. One of the things that I think it struggles with currently is matchmaking. I have played ranked. I'm not great at this game. I won't lie. It has a very... Once you get into higher parts of ranked, I believe, it has a very much like, I'm a pro and I'm going to destroy you at this game because I know how to play. It's tough playing people online. It really is. And I get that that's part of the fighting game community in general. I mean, Smash is the same way. You eventually reach a point where you start playing people who are good, especially in the GSP grind.
Yeah, but you make it as a noob who would be coming into this game because I know you want us to play. You make it kind of sound discouraging. So is it that hard?
Yeah. So let me put it this way: when I played originally, and this is, I guess they're doing it within like seasons, kind of like rank season. Originally, when I started playing, I was playing before the patch where there was no like down blocking. You couldn't crouch block. So people were just abusing that, and I guess one of the things that I had become good at is abusing it. So I actually got ranked up to like, at the time, I think I was like 70 out of the everyone who was playing in ranked. And since then, of course, I'm not in ranked because, again, I'm really not that good. But it shouldn't be discouraging to play it when, you know, you're doing it for the niche that it is. Like, it's Power Rangers. Like, if you're playing it to play with some friends, that's cool. Right now, they don't have PvP. It's just the random matchmaking, but I'm hoping that they'll add that. I believe they said that they were going to, and it was just going to come out in other updates. But, I mean, it's fun. I'd recommend it just for you guys to have it. It's, again, $20, and for anyone listening, Battle for the Grid, it's fun when you learn combos. Otherwise, if you don't know combos and you don't know how to do loops, which is it's a 2D fighter, so you're standing on either side of a stage, and you get caught in like corners and stuff. So if you're in the corner, you basically have the chance to get looped and half of your health gone. But yeah, other than that, like if you're playing casually, like if you go into the casual matchmaking area or whatever, it's fun once you learn how to do the combos. But I'm just saying, other than that, it kind of has a limit of enjoyment for me because that's pretty much where it's at right now. Like, I can't find people from the Angel Grove Arena Discord, or if you guys had it, hit one of you guys up to play it right now. Or even Chrissy has it, so I could, like, Chrissy and I could play. I don't have that ability right now. So it's not that fun. It's not that fun for me currently, and that's not to say that it won't be, or it's not to say that people aren't enjoying it. But for me, playing online right now, it's not that fun for me.
No, so you don't like getting beat all the time, huh?
I do not, and I imagine that most people don't. So,
I love getting beat all the time. It's great. It's a great feeling.
It's a good way to learn. I'll tell you that much.
No, I'm hard-headed.
Oh,
No.
It's hard on your pride. It's hard on your pride. I can admit that.
Yeah, it's definitely hard on your pride.
What is pride?
What is pride? That's exactly it.
Let's say that for the philosophy podcast, guys.
Gathering of philosophers. We're going to start that one up.
G.O.B.
Yeah.
Anyways,
all right.
what else we got to discuss today?
All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is actually still Power Rangers adjacent. So I really haven't talked to you guys much about the mobile game.
Can I, real quick, Power Rangers adjacent?
Ha ha.
So clever.
I'm sorry. I thought I left internally when I heard it. So, okay,
it was good.
Let's go.
It was good. That was good. Shout out to my boy Mize again, who's part of the Discord, listens.
What's up, Mize?
He is part of the... Oh gosh, it's been so long since I've played, I forgot what it's called now. The team, I will call it the team, that's I have on Legacy Wars, Veritas, which is why my name is Leo Veritas, because it started from Legacy Wars, when I changed my gamer tag everywhere. But, so I want to tell you guys, I've been playing since the game released, literally the day of release. It came out March 23rd, 2017, and honestly, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm not going to lie to the listeners. You have to pay to win in this game. And the reason I say that is when it first started, it was a little easier because there weren't that many characters and they didn't introduce the talent system. And it was kind of just like if you level up your moves with the different orbs and shards and everything that you get, you're cool. Otherwise, you're kind of at a disadvantage. So they introduced, I want to say 3-4 months later, they introduced that mechanic, or it might even have been later. Of course, added more characters. They also got a big investment from Lionsgate who made the Power Rangers movie, and because of all that money, they started just characters, like bunches of characters. Like I think it's like every other week there's a new character that gets added to the game, which is cool because it gives you variety. But at the same time, it starts to make the old characters obsolete, and I'll explain that in a second. So,
well, you know what? That's like any gacha game,
right?
Any game that you have to pay for. All the games that I play, Kingdom Hearts is a big one where you get for them it's medals, it's not characters. I mean, they're characters on the medals themselves, but once a medal comes out, it's like a week later, it's useless, and you spend so much money trying to get this to be in the meta, and next week it's a different meta.
Right.
See, I'm not about that life. I'm not trying to spend money to have it be obsolete within a week's time. I can't do that crap.
Yeah, and I think the one thing I can say about Power Rangers Legacy Wars that kind of worked for it for a while was within the character changes up until, I want to say, the last update that we got, like the last big update that kind of was a little game changing, you were still able to contend with most of the meta. So what they did was in this last big update, they changed it so that the health bar went up and moves did a little bit less. So that basically what was happening was you'd have games that could last a long time, could last maybe about a minute or two, however long the timer is. And they shortened it so that matches at worst, I think, would last. Gosh, I honestly, I haven't played it in a while to even tell you, but it lasts way longer now if you are both weak because the health bar is so much up and they kind of nerfed how much moves did. And because of that, my main was the White Ranger, was Tommy the White Ranger. And I had... Yeah, of course, you know me, Tommy. But it's funny because I actually originally played Green Ranger. Then from the Green Ranger, I went to the White Ranger. And from the White Ranger, I went to the Blue Ninja Steel Ranger, which is Preston. It was his name. And I'll do a little side story because I was going to talk about this anyway. There is a YouTuber who I follow. Jonathan Snow is his name. Shout out to Jonathan Snow. Shout out to John.
Jon Snow.
Yes, he had a tournament. I remember sending this video to you guys, but he had a tournament through Enway, and a couple of the other Power Rangers Legacy Wars players who did YouTube content did it also, and was involved directly with Enway also. But I joined his tournament. I qualified into the tournament, and funny enough, it was in 2018. At this point, I had been playing for a year. And funny enough, it was on my birthday, which was also the due date of my son. And I remember the first round, making it past the first round, which was the day before my birthday. And then on my birthday, I remember being in the lobby of the hospital, sitting there with Chrissy, waiting to like play and like having his like live stream up, getting ready for my turn and like all this, because they have cool functions on there, which I'll discuss another time, but you basically have PvP and the ability to have PvP in Legacy Wars, which is pretty cool. But
yeah, I'm totally, my wife's giving birth to a son, but Legacy Wars.
But Power Rangers. No, but, yeah, shout out to my wife. She really has encouraged me and allowed me to do everything that I want to do with video games, with this podcast, with everything. So shout out to Chrissy. And she also helped chip in to get Esk the Switch. So, you know.
Don't make me cry, guys. Don't make me cry.
But that's what we do best.
Exactly. Well,
Especially
anyway.
now that I have Smash Bros.
Anyway, long story short, I lost in that tournament and on that day, which, whatever. But over the course of that time playing, I legitimately was within the top 60 of players who played that game. I would consistently be like in whatever the top is. I think it's like legendary or elite or however they want to put it, that class that's at the top. And once they did the update, I haven't been able to pass gold, which is the rank under elite. Like, I haven't been able to get up there because my team fell out of the meta. I can't beat any of the meta characters at all with White Ranger anymore. And there was a pretty consistent like side characters, because you have 2 assists and your main character. And the consistent assist that everyone would use would be the Black Ranger from the movie, and then the Pink Ranger or the Green Ranger, or even Lord Draken as their assists within that, because their health benefits that would just boost your health so much, and then how much damage they did, and their effect of like pop up or stagger or whatever. And those are obsolete now within the meta. And so,
how do you make the White Ranger obsolete? Like, how do you do as a Power Ranger game, knowing that he's obviously
this. Basically, what they do is they put it in the code that it sucks now.
Yeah,
but like from a conceptual standpoint, the White Ranger and Tommy in general is like the most popular Ranger.
Well, let me explain.
And
that doesn't mean he's the best around.
Yeah, but people playing the game are going to be drawn to, oh yeah, I want the White Ranger or the Green Ranger on my team.
Right, but let me
hold on. You're going to play as your favorite character, not as a character that you're going to win with.
Right, and that's my point. Let me get to that. So, Esk, to your point, there literally are every variation of Tommy -2. So you have Green Ranger, you have Green Ranger version 2, which is from the Bat in the Sun YouTube video where he fought Ryu, and you have
that was dope.
You have the White Ranger, and then you have Dino Thunder Black Ranger, which Dino Thunder Black Tommy is legendary class. So they have common, they have epic, I believe is that, or what is the other one? Rare, sorry, common, rare. And then Epic is next to rarest one, which is what the White Ranger is, and the Green Ranger version 2. And then you have Legendary, which is what Dino Thunder Black is. And I'm sure anyone who actually plays Legacy Wars is probably screaming at me like, no, that's not what it's called. I'm sorry, it's been a while since I played. But I'm just trying to give you guys the gist of it. So anyway, yeah, it's fun, and it's a fun game to pull out when I'm stuck at work. I don't have my Switch, and I want to play something really quick, besides what we're going to talk about later. But
what are we going to talk about later?
Oh, wouldn't you like to know? We'll find out. We'll find out.
I'm in the dark. I don't know what the hell we're going to talk about later.
Yeah, it's because he doesn't like to read the outline. Anyway, he likes to just...
Oh, is it it's in the outline. Oh, shoot.
It is in the outline. I just wanted to kind of give a little update on just my history with Legacy Wars in general and just mobile gaming and whatnot. But I want to talk about Smash Bros. I want to talk about my thing first before I'll include you guys. So the first thing I want to say is I had been trying to get Joker into Elite since he came out. I got him into Elite. Lost out of Elite, got back in but barely, lost out again, went on a losing streak. I believe I had mentioned this when I talked about it in like episode 2. So I actually got him into Elite, solidly into Elite, and I feel good because you guys will eventually experience this, Bulba and Esk, since you guys haven't had the game long. But eventually you get to a point where when you're good or semi-good with your particular character, with your main, and you're not really good with anyone else, you kind of start feeling like you're a character specialist. And then, let's just say, for example, I think the worst character in the game is Little Mac. Shout out to Gravy, who plays Little Mac. It's not his main anymore, but, he plays Little Mac.
That's debatable. I mean, he's so strong. Yeah, his mobility is crap, and if you throw him off the map and he's too far away, he can't get back. But, I mean, if you're really good with Little Mac, you can avoid those scenarios, really dominate. So I wouldn't say he's the worst.
So
he's one of the worst.
Let me be respectful in saying you have had the game yourself for a couple days, and you haven't really been in the competitive scene. I mean this geared towards competitive scene. I don't mean this towards casuals. Right. So, and that's something that Gravy and I have both tried to do in our own ways. Anyway.
So what you're telling me is that nobody really plays Little Mac in the competitive scene?
Right.
At all? Really?
Very, very little. Very little, if at all. Yeah, he's just... Dude, it's something that I told you when we played the other day, and this is good advice to everybody listening. When you're playing Smash, one of the things that is paramount in Ultimate is edge guarding or ledge trapping. If you know how to edge guard or ledge trap in this game, you're going to do well, because recovery is not the same as it was in 4, because once you dodge midair, that's it. You can't dodge again unless you're really, really high up, I believe. Other than that, you're done. So it's much harder to recover in this game. So if you can't recover, obviously percentage doesn't matter. So Little Mac,
cough and DK.
Little Mac, it can't recover. But anyway, character specialist is what I was talking about. Being a character specialist, like if you have a terrible matchup like Little Mac, or a character like Little Mac, it's hard to play against someone that you have that is an edge guard master. Because I can't think of someone off the top of my head. I'm just going to use Joker as an example. He can recover pretty easily, especially with his persona out. If Joker happens to bait out a dodge from Little Mac or whatever and goes out and just fares him while he's off the stage, that's it. With Toon Link, one of Toon Link's weaknesses is like the Spaceys, Fox, Falco, and Wolf. You want to have a counter pick in your pocket to use in case you have a bad matchup like that. And so I have Sonic, but I wasn't feeling confident with Sonic. And I wanted to have someone else almost as assurance for myself, knowing that I could play this game, understand fundamentals to get a character into Elite. Even though it's a much different scene than competitive, it still kind of gives you a little bit of confidence. It gives you enough confidence to know that you understand the character enough to be at least semi-competitive. Like, you're not going to get 3-stocked unless it's a horrible, horrible matchup, right? Follow so far, guys?
Yeah, I'm on it.
Okay. So that was something that I was struggling with. I ended up having a epiphany thanks to Gravy Boy, because he kind of explained to me that I needed to slow down, understand what I wasn't doing right, and get it done. And it was funny because I told him to start playing as Roy originally. When we started the game, I was like, oh, he's going to be good. You should pick up Roy. It was your main in Melee. You should do it. And he was like, no, I don't know. And then he tried and he wasn't doing well. And I was like, dude, you just got to push past the barrier. And I told him. And then he kind of did the same thing for me with Joker. And we both have, those characters in Elite now. So I think it's just due to persistence, understanding the game, kind of having to go through the salty L's, the terrible losses that you get, and all of that. So that's my little spiel about that and getting Joker into Elite, which I'm happy about. Also, I participated in the Beyond the Metagame tournament, which Beyond the Metagame is a Smash Bros. Podcast. Those dudes over there, Peon and AV, are awesome. They're really good at the game. I'm very mediocre at the game compared to them. So if you guys want a really good and in-depth talk about Smash Bros. And just everything, join their Discord, check out their podcast. It's awesome and very helpful. But I went 2-2 in that tournament. I played a couple of foxes. I lost to a fox, and then I also played a wolf. Again, Spaceys are my Achilles heel. But yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was fun. Esk, let's get into this nitty-gritty. Esk.
All right.
We got you. We got you the Switch.
Yes, you did.
Yay.
We
Shocked the hell out of me.
We went to GameStop like right after that and got you Smash and played it with you for a bit to help you get started unlocking characters. How are you liking it?
Okay.
Long pause. That doesn't sound great.
Well,
Let it fly. Let it fly.
I feel like I haven't been playing it enough. I need to play it a little more. It's only been a couple days, so understandable.
Right.
I'm working on getting all the characters right now, but I will say the first thing I noticed right off the get, because realistically, I've only played this game a handful of times before I owned it with you, and it was just kind of Smash, and you kind of set it up, and we just played.
Right.
So this is the first time that I've had an opportunity to like jump into the menu and check out all the things that this game has to offer. And I have to say I'm pretty impressed. They included a ton of different things in this game. The spirits and, being able to do the story mode, but then doing the classic and then, Amiibo, that's new for me because, I haven't had a Nintendo system since the Nintendo 64. That's been, a long time. You can do just regular brawl and set it up to all that stuff. You can do the oh gosh, remind me, the what's the team one where you have 3?
Oh, Squad Strike.
Squad Strike. There's a lot of different things in this game, and I'm really impressed that they put so much time into it, and they made it much better than it was, which is it seemed bland before. Now it seems like this is the Smash that everyone has really wanted for a long time. So right out the get, I'm pretty impressed with the game. It looks amazing. There's a few things I've noticed since I've started playing that they've changed. I'd say the main thing is the roll dodge. You can't really roll dodge past attacks anymore. That's really the main thing that's really affecting my play.
Wait, explain that. What do you mean roll dodge?
So you remember if Bulba is running at me as Sonic and I'm in my bubble, I can usually, in previous games, roll past him and not get touched. But that you can't do that anymore. So essentially, while he's coming at me as Sonic, I'm unable to move past him. I have to stay stable, and it's just muscle memory, essentially, where I'm used to being able to do it, and now I can't, so I have to retrain myself how to actually battle him without taking that damage. So there's just a few changes like that they've made in this game that it's going to take time, and I'll get used to it eventually.
Right. Okay, yeah. So, so fundamentals are different than what we played in Smash 4, and even from, I think the bulk of when we would play was back during the Brawl days, I think, right? Is usually when we would play.
That's when we played a ton, was in Brawl, yeah.
Right. And then Bulba and Esk and I would occasionally play Smash 4. I was kind of... We kind of would do it here and there. Started to get busy and do different things like that, so... But, yeah, okay. Well, within that, do you have a main picked out?
Oh, man. That's tough to say. You guys know I've been flirting with the Mii Fighters, but you said that they're like a really niche pick,
right?
As far as like the competitive scene, and then a lot of the times like you don't have time to go in and edit your Mii Fighter skill set, which to me is ridiculous. You should have it mapped out already. Like if you're going to use a Mii Fighter, you should know what you're going to do, set it up really quick before on the Wii that you're going to be using, and then like they should do that. Like if you're going into a tournament,
are we playing on the Wii now?
I'm sorry. You know what, man? I'm getting used to this still, okay? On the Switch. You should go on to the Switch, because you told me the other day, like, you're using a Switch that your Mii Fighter isn't loaded up to, so it's not going to look the way you are, it's not going to have the moveset, so they should have a thing for a tournament like, okay, if you're going to use a Mii Fighter, you need to come in and input it. And I think that would be, like, a cool little thing to do. But, I don't know if I'm going to use the Mii Fighter, to be honest.
Let me, real quick, just to your point, there's things like, let's say Genesis. Dude, Genesis had so many switches. There's no way you're going to go and you're going to be like, all right, I'm going to go to every section and I'm going to make my Mii like this. Like, because
they're all using different systems.
Right, and it's all different systems. So there's no way that you're able to do that. And that's at major events. Obviously at locals, they might be more lenient. They might have different rules. I have no idea.
Yeah. And if I was going to participate in a tournament, it probably wouldn't be Genesis. At least for a while, because, I just got the game. But, yeah, I'm definitely looking at maybe doing some sort of local. And in that aspect, if I were to use a Mii Fighter, I would imagine that they would be okay with me setting up my Mii. But,
again,
honestly,
it depends.
I'm going to digress on that because I don't even think I'm going to be using the Mii Fighter.
Yeah,
I think it's fun to use in like our free games that we do, like casual. But in like a competitive scene, I'm still feeling it out. I definitely like Lucario. Lucario feels really good to me, and his speed versus power is like, it's balanced. I feel like it's really balanced. Whereas like I usually play Fox, and he's so fast, but unless you're successfully landing his combos, he's just ticky-tacking away his enemies little by little. And if you're really evasive, like, you're not going to get his attacks. And it's just, you're not going to be able to do enough damage to where you can get a good strike and knock out your enemy. So a lot of the times that's what I feel is happening when I'm Fox and you're Toon Link. Is like, I can't do enough damage to you to get you to a point where I can get a good hit. Or when I do get a good hit, you just don't have enough damage to get knocked out. So I feel like I have to step away from Fox at least until I practice him more and get a good idea of how to use his combos.
Yeah, combos.
I know that's essentially his bread and butter is the combos. So it's going to take more practice to get that down. Until then, right now I'm leaning towards Lucario for sure. I like that he has a counter. I don't know what it is about counters. I really like him.
I noticed that on your Mii Brawler.
Yeah,
I
you
think
counter
that-
all the time.
Yeah.
I think it's a good opportunity to turn your enemy's attack on themselves, and especially I like to not use it for a really long time, and then all of a sudden you use it and you catch your enemy off guard. I think it's very, very useful, especially because I don't really use down Bs very often with my characters, so it's nice to know that it's there, but I don't have to use it very heavily. I still haven't unlocked Sheik yet. I'm
Yeah,
hoping
wasn't
that I
that your
can
main back in
for a
Brawl?
very long time.
Yeah.
Melee. Well,
Melee.
going into Brawl, I was a Sheik main, and I was very good at Sheik in Melee, like so good. And they ruined her so bad. I tried her the other day when I was at Leo's house, and I still feel like she's just not right.
She's
So
not the same.
she's really not. So I'm going to hopefully when I unlock her, I'll be able to play her and maybe see if I can pick her up again. But I'm still feeling things out. I also when the original Smash Bros, I mained Ness, and I was really good at Ness and Fox. And Ness isn't even the same as it used to be.
No.
So it's really hard for me to turn back to those characters that I was so good at, and they just don't even play remotely like they used to. Shoot, even Mario's changed from the original Smash Bros. Like I played a match with you yesterday as Mario, and just he's so different. He's so different.
I have a lot of experience against Mario's, against Ness, against just a lot of the different characters. So you being a beginner at this game, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but I am intermediate at this game at the very least.
Understood.
It wasn't. It's definitely not a good matchup for you. However, once you're able to learn the combos, the bread and butters, how to tech, all the advanced things that you want to learn in this game, once you learn all those things, the characters that you're having trouble with me against, like Fox, like I can't touch Fox. When you play against Fox and you're a Toon Link, it's oppressive. I can't do anything. I can't space out in time because he's so quick that he's able to come and close the gap quickly while I'm like trying to do something as simple as taking out a bomb. So it's not to mention he has the reflect, and that's something that you don't utilize that much when you play as Fox. And I think
I've noticed that too.
if you did,
it depends on the character.
Yeah,
it depends on the character.
Yeah.
When I play Bulba as Sonic, there's not a lot that I can reflect. Yes, you can use it for edge guarding, but I find that I'm more familiar with it as like a reflect in regards to projectiles.
Right.
So I'm still like really trying to incorporate it in my playstyle with Fox, but a lot of the time you just keep me at a distance so much with everything that you do that I'm unable to even really utilize it because I'm trying to avoid your attacks. I will say the one thing that I really like to use it for is when I'm falling, it spaces out your fall. So that way you throw off your opponent and they mistime their attack.
That has worked against me a couple of times.
That is for sure one of the best uses of that move.
Yeah.
Is to slow down your fall and make it when you want to land.
Yeah, for sure.
So definitely something that I've been using a lot. But yeah, I'm still trying to incorporate it with other things. I'm still trying to learn the spacing of it because you have to be very close if you're going to actually if you're going to shock an individual, like just by them touching it, they have to be at a very specific space.
Right.
If they're too far away, it's not going to touch them. So Still trying to get that down. You might have noticed in the past couple days I've been experimenting with that a little bit more. And I also been playing Falco, so he throws his.
Right.
So that's kind of throwing me off a little bit in where the person has to be for each individual character. A lot of it comes down to just trial and error. I just have to give it some time, keep playing these characters, and practice, and eventually I'm going to be at a place where I can contest with you. If you
I
think
hope
about,
so.
I think so. I really think I am, because with the amount that I've been playing, especially in the past few days, it's leaps and bounds where I was, because I used to be playing with you for
Only
a
at
couple
my
of
house.
hours at a time, every couple of weeks to like maybe once a month. And that was when we were playing a lot, whereas I would go years without playing. So now I'm actually playing a lot, where I'm getting into practice and I'm starting to get a feel for these characters. And a lot, it's muscle memory is a lot of it. So,
for sure. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Practice makes perfect, guys. Give me some time. I'm going to get there. Don't worry.
Oh, I believe it, and we'll have to join online tournaments as G.O.B, which I did in the Beyond the Metagame tournament. I had my sponsor prefix as G.O.B, and it was cool because Peon gave us a shout out. So shout out to Peon.
Promotion.
Nice.
All right, just so that we kind of keep it moving, real quick. Are you planning on getting the DLC?
Okay, so that is something I've really been thinking about. As of right now, we have Joker, and there's the Piranha Plant, and
more than likely, that's it right now. But more than likely, we're gonna get an announcement at E3 for the next character, and some people are even saying that it might
like
shadow drop. Yeah, probably. But yeah.
So unless I really get a character that I'm like really invested in,
like
Banjo freaking Kazooie.
Hashtag Banjo Kazooie for Smash.
Look, if Banjo Kazooie went into Smash Bros, guys, like there would be no, like, I don't care how difficult that character would be, I would master Banjo.
He would
like,
instantly master
Instamain. Like, I'm telling you right now, I would put so much time and effort into mastering that character.
That's funny.
So let's say they get another Final Fantasy character. Let's say they do, maybe instead of Final Fantasy VII, let's say they do Titus, or Titus, however you pronounce it. I pronounce it Titus. A lot of people say Titus. From Final Fantasy X. If we got Titus, I would buy it, for sure. Matter of fact, I think it would be quite appropriate to get another.
I doubt it, bro. I doubt it.
Highly doubt it.
Yeah.
Street Fighter seems like a stretch because we have Ken and we have Ryu, so...
Yeah. No, probably not. So I'll go over this, and it'll be a good way to include Bulba, because I've been not including Bulba.
I'm used to it. It's okay.
I saw
somebody play the tiniest violin somewhere.
Yeah, I heard it. Shout out to Mr. Krabs. No, so
Are you ready, kids?
So there was a mock fan ballot that went out for different DLC characters. Bulba, take a stab in the dark at who was number one on this list. Starts with an S.
I don't know. Sora.
Exactly. So
Sora? Really?
Yeah, that's a fan list. It's a fan list.
Everybody wants Sora.
Everybody wants Sora in the game. Now, here's the thing. There have been credible leakers who have said that Square Enix is going to have another character represented in Smash through a DLC character slot. We don't know who that is. If it is Sora, I would be absolutely amazed, because Square isn't the only company that owns rights to Sora.
It's Disney.
Disney owns the rights also.
Yeah, there's no freaking way.
So
there is absolutely no way.
That's a long it's a long shot, and I would love to sit here and say, yeah, Sora for Smash. But because I'm going to tell you right now, if he actually ended up coming to Smash, I would drop Toon Link so quickly and main Sora.
Well, let me tell you this. I mean, it's honestly really not that far-fetched, because we've had Kingdom Hearts games on the 3DS, which is the
right.
Nintendo system.
Nintendo,
so,
right.
I mean, it's not entirely far-fetched, but it's kind of unlucky.
Right.
If I were to put money right now on what Square Enix character would be included in this game, it would either be another character from Final Fantasy VII like Barrett or Tifa,
My
or
used to be Tifa.
or Noctis from Final Fantasy 15.
You know what?
I'm
Yeah,
gonna-
maybe not this too.
I'm
Because of
gonna
all his changing of weapons and stuff like his
He would be the perfect Smash character. Like realistically, like he would remind me a lot of Shulk.
Yeah,
in his
he's
play.
almost exactly like Shulk.
I think he would be perfect for Smash. And Final Fantasy 15, people underestimate it. That game was huge. That game was really good too.
well, let
Aren't
me
they still doing updates for it?
I think they are. They're still doing DLC content and stuff.
Well, let me just say this though. I don't think that it's going to happen. And the reason I don't think it's going to happen is when you really think about it, yeah, Cloud is in Smash, but dude, we barely have Midgar. I'm surprised we have Midgar, and we have 2 song tracks. That's it. Through the entirety of the game. We have nothing.
Yeah,
There's no
I
spirit.
noticed that too.
There's no spirits that came with Cloud. It's just Cloud and then his Advent Children costume, and that's it. So
it's a very limited contract.
right. Right. So I doubt we're going to get any. So the rumor is that Square is going to put Erdrick from Dragon Quest as a character. That's a rumor.
Dragon Quest.
Yeah, which would essentially be like getting Goku because the design, I believe, is like
It's
a
the same
Toriyama.
as Dragon Ball Z. Yeah.
So that would, I don't know how I feel about that. That would be cool. And then the other one is maybe, which again is funny because it's the same style as Akira Toriyama. It would be Chrono from Chrono Trigger. That one's really far-fetched.
Chrono. Okay, I'd be down for Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, that one's really far-fetched. But real quick to go through this little short list, you got Sora, you got Banjo-Kazooie, you got Dante from Devil May Cry, which also Devil May Cry got announced. I believe it's the port of the first one for the Switch. So the rumor mill started turning on that one. Oh, Dante's coming to Smash. So, you got that. There's even a rumor that Cuphead is in Smash as Microsoft's rep. We don't know. We have no idea. I don't know how I feel about it.
Banjo-Kazooie is repped by Microsoft essentially
Yes.
because they own it now,
Yes.
right? Yeah. So, yeah, I believe Rare was the original owner that came
Correct.
out with the original game on N64, and then they sold the rights to
Microsoft,
who then put out their own. I believe it's Nuts and Bolts, Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. I've never played it. I heard very horrible things about the game.
Same.
So my number one concern is that if we do get a Banjo-Kazooie, that it's going to be in that character model. Because that character model for Nuts and Bolts it's not even Banjo-Kazooie. It's something completely different. And my hope is that they would go back to the original Rare character models for the N64, and that's what we would get if we did hypothetically get a Banjo and Kazooie. It seems high on the list. Number 2, is it?
I believe so. He's pretty high. Yeah. Let me just.
I really hope we get him.
Well, let me give you a little bit of hope if we do get him. Sakurai has done his characters very, very good. I mean, when you look at the attention to detail that he has in every character that is in this game, he's not going to do Banjo-Kazooie dirty. So more than likely he'll have the design looking like everyone's, childhood. So I think we harped on that topic a little long, but just to involve Bulba again, because again I said I would, and we're talking over him. Bulba, you've been playing. You've had the game for how long now?
Since the 3.0 update. So what is that?
A month?
3 weeks?
Yeah,
A month?
3 weeks.
yeah, almost a month. So how do you feel your growth is coming along in the game?
Well, good and bad. Basically, I went from the Wavebird controller to this Switch Zelda controller, GameCube style, and
that's perfect because I was going to ask you when we talked in the episode a couple weeks ago. I asked you if you had heard about the extra lag, or I told you guys about the extra lag. Can you confirm or deny that the Wavebird had a little bit of extra lag?
Yeah, it did, 100%.
There you go.
That's good to know.
There you go. That's why I was telling
you. Honestly, the lag that I'm getting off of this controller that I'm playing with now is a lot worse.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it wired?
Yeah, it's wired, and it's very disappointing. And it's a Switch controllers made for the Switch. And
it's worse than the Wavebird?
Yeah, I don't know if maybe I just got a bad one or this controller just is absolute trash. I'm not really sure.
Could it be your Wi-Fi?
Why would my Wi-Fi affect
He's
my
he's he's talking about controller lag. He's talking about like input lag. So like he's going to do something on the controller and it doesn't register that he did something. I guess that could be attributed to Wi-Fi lag, but I think he's talking about.
Let me ask: where are you getting it the most? Are you getting it
the whole
online
game.
play? The whole game. Oh,
Yep, the whole thing.
Okay.
Okay. You're talking like
so
even when you're practicing not offline, you're getting it.
Yeah, like if I just do a random Smash group, or if I do the classic mode and do, I don't know, that 100 character brawl.
Uh-huh.
Like I'll go and try and do a dodge roll out of something, and I'll get hit, land, and then dodge roll if I even push anything else on the.
Oh my gosh.
Huh.
It's incredibly bad.
What's funny is that sounds familiar. Like it had happened when the game first came out to me, or it might have been to N64 Josh or Nightcrawler, the dudes from the Smash Bros. Cast. It sounds familiar. I honestly, dude, I want to say just when you get the funds, obviously, try to invest in a wired GameCube controller. I lent Esk mine until he's able to get his own, or one of mine, I should say.
Thank you.
And Esk, how are you feeling with that controller?
Well, pretty good. I haven't had any problems. I haven't felt like I was getting any sort of lag at all, except, when you start to lag a little bit in online play. For the most part, it's really responsive. I haven't tried to use the Switch controller, that it comes with. I have been curious about how that handles, considering that the layout is different.
Right.
But for the most part, I'm pretty satisfied. I'm assuming this is the one that came with Brawl when you got it, because it's got the Smash Bros. Logo on it. So
No, that's actually, I lent you the Ultimate one.
Oh, that came with Ultimate. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is a solid controller. I'm pretty satisfied with it.
Sweet.
I'm hoping I can get something that feels the same, because I haven't had any issues.
Sweet. And Boba, let me go back to you, because I just wanted to ask him while we were talking about it. Are you still enjoying the game regardless of the kind of input lag? I know it's frustrating, obviously, but other than that, are you enjoying the game?
No, I'm definitely enjoying the game. It's fun playing with you guys. Fun getting my butt kicked, obviously. Kicking Mike's butt, but I mean, hey.
I wouldn't say it's kicking my butt. I think our games have been relatively close. They've been close, okay? And, especially the more I play, the closer they get, where it's coming down to the last stock, and you just beat me on the last stock. Whereas with Leo, it's more of an ass-kicking throughout the whole thing, and he can three-stock me if he really gave it 100%. I can barely take... If I, tried my absolute hardest...
He can give you, 25%.
If he gave his 100%, and I would have to give 110% to absolutely take one stock from him. And that's just because I've never really played this game in particular for this amount of time. I think the most I've played was Brawl. We played a lot of Brawl, Leo. So
yeah, a lot.
I'm still kind of getting. I'm getting used to the changes that have been made to this game. Give me a couple weeks, and I might be able to take a stock from Leo a little easier. And we'll probably end our matches, Bulba, pretty 50-50.
Oh, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes, buddy.
We'll see.
How was our when I first got the game, Leo? How was our matchups initially? I don't remember.
I can tell you, I kind of picked up on the things you were doing, which is what casual players do, which is you try to roll a lot. You try to jump in and you don't fast fall. You don't really use DI well and all those things. And since that point, I've seen improvement, and just in the month that you've been playing. So I'm assuming that'll happen with Esk also. He's not, again, everyone listening, he's not a noob. He's played the game on and off. He's not the greatest, but he's getting there. And also, if you guys want to play us, join our Discord. We have the link in whatever podcast area you're listening to in our info of the podcast. Check it out. It's awesome. We play Smash pretty much daily, and other games too.
If you want a piece of Esk, bring it.
If you want a piece of Esk,
bring it.
I think everyone's going to go home with a piece of Esk when they come.
There's enough to go around, apparently.
2 for $5.
Ooh, that'll get you a DLC.
That's good.
Guys, I'm trying to raise money for this DLC over here.
Yeah, that's our next GoFundMe.
In full anticipation.
No. The next GoFundMe has to be Mario Kart.
Yeah, exactly. Get money for... And that's a perfect segue, Bulba. Thank you.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. So
you are so very welcome, sir. I'm glad I could be of service.
So we've been playing Mario Kart, Bulba and I, on and off. And also, I've played on N64 Josh's Twitch stream. He has late-night Mario Karts. I believe it's once or twice a week. And, dude, it's really... Yeah, it's really fun. It's really fun.
Is this the same Mario Kart that I played with you several times where there's a lot of like the drifting? Is that the one?
Oh yeah, man. That's how you do advanced things in Mario Kart. You can't just drive.
Like,
you gotta drift, bro. You
I
have to
like,
drift. It's a necessity in this game.
I like the old Mario Kart, where there was none of that crap. It was just drive.
There was drifting in like Mario 64.
In the N64 version?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. It wasn't as prominent, no, but
yeah, it's more it's like on every turn you have to drift in this.
You get
one.
boosts. You get boosts from drifting in this game. So when you drift long enough, you get a small boost.
From the Airstream crap.
Yeah, well that's new.
Boost around
that from 64. But it's fun. And here's the thing, and this is why I've been enjoying it, and this is why I wanted to mention it and ask when you get the money, that should be your next game, honestly, is because it's not
Breath of the Wild.
That's a good one. I mean, maybe Breath of the Wild. But the reason
Listeners, if you think I should get Breath of the Wild, please email us at gatheringofbros@gmail.com.
Or send us a tweet at gatheringofbros, twitter.com/gatheringofbros. I had to get low for that one.
like Captain America. Assemble. Avengers, assemble.
Exactly. Well, anyway.
Gathering Bros?
On Twitter.
Well, the reason I wanted to talk about Mario Kart is just because in the midst of me trying to get Joker to Elite and all that was happening and just getting stressed out because I want to be competitive in Smash, Mario Kart is the perfect chill out game. Obviously, you get a little triggered from getting blue shelled. Okay.
A little.
Okay, you get triggered from getting blue shelled. But when you're not concerned about being competitive at a game and just having this game where you're just racing karts, you know what I'm saying? It's a really like chill game and it's been really fun. So I recommend Mario Kart to everybody. If you don't have it, you should get it. You should get it.
I feel like playing it with more than 2 people would be a lot more fun.
Oh yeah, dude, you play online. You play random people online, and in N64 Josh's stream, I mean, there's people who just join up, and it's pretty much like all of us in a room, and we're all playing in there, which is cool. So,
yeah, because I feel like when I've played the game with you a handful of times when you were still at your bachelor pad, like, it's you and me, and you're straight like a champion drifter, like you're coming out of Tokyo Drift.
Oh, God.
And like you're always in first place, and I'm struggling to get into second, unless I get absolutely screwed and end up in like 9th place, and you're just like, ah! And I'm just like stuck back there.
Dude, you should play Josh and Crawler and see how great they are. I think Bulba got to see it a couple times. Like they're they're crazy at the game. I'm a casual in comparison. Like, it's funny. Like, you got to learn to drift. That's just how this game is. And once you get to 200 TC, you also have to use the brake, which I never did. I never did until I started to try.
If we're looking at a tier, we're looking at N64 Josh as like the ultimate like champion.
Yes.
And then there's Leo as Cash. And then there's like a whole bunch of layers of shit. And then underneath all that shit,
that's where Esk resides.
Esk resides down there.
Sure, let's go with that.
Where's Bulba?
And Bulba is above.
Like in the middle of the.
He's above.
He's in the middle. He's in the middle of the shit. I'm underneath the shits. He's in the middle of it. He's making his way out.
That's funny. Well, yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there. I know it's not typical of what we talk about, but I just want to say it's fun and you should definitely get it. The other thing I alluded to, and we'll talk more about this next week because we wanted to just touch on a little bit of anime. I wanted to mention Duel Links because I had mentioned that we're going to talk about another mobile game. I think each of us have played Duel Links at some point. At one point, we really got into the TCG, and we'll save this conversation for next week. But I just wanted to mention that we've played that, and we have history with that as well. So if you guys want to talk about that,
it's so long since I've played, though. I mean, it's
been a minute for myself as well. But I just wanted to mention that, and we'll talk about that a little bit maybe next week.
I played Duel Links today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, perfect. Then you can lead that conversation because I haven't played in a few months. So
that conversation for today or next week?
We'll save it for next week.
All right. Gives me some time to think. I don't like being put on the spot. It's scary.
Anyways.
So I think the last thing we're going to talk about is anime today-esque. So I know you wanted to talk a little bit about it, so we'll have a short conversation.
Couple things.
Yeah, go for it.
So something I've recently watched that has been really recommended to me that I just really have, it's been on my list for a really long time and I just have never been able to get to it, is Code Geass. Have you guys seen Code Geass?
I've seen the first series. Is
that on Hulu?
It is not on Hulu, it's on Funimation.
Funimation, okay.
I believe there's 2 or 3 seasons. I can't quite remember.
I think there's 3?
I think there's 3, yeah.
There's a movie that's coming out, I think.
I have to say, like, it's a really in-depth anime. Like, you have to be adamant and paying attention what's going on. Otherwise, you're going to get super lost. But the character development, the romance within the show itself, it's a really great show. And I was really happy with the ending. And it turns out that it actually wasn't the ending because they're releasing new Code Geass. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's a big development for the main character. So I would recommend you guys check that out. I was really skeptical of it at first. I don't know what it is, if it was just the name or the artwork, but I don't know, something about it was just like, do I really want to invest in this? But then once I started watching it, like especially after the first episode, they set up a lot of questions. Like, what the heck is this? What the heck is this? You want to keep watching to find out. That's
was
the kind of
like a Gundam-esque kind of thing. I think I see
it
to an extent.
There were many moments that I was like feeling Gundam. Like, there were a lot of moments because there are mechs. They're very prominent in this show. I would recommend you guys.
The Code Geass like advertisement page, I guess. It's got a mech on it, so I was just curious.
Oh yeah. I recommend you guys check it out. It's not so much, you know how everybody's got their own Gundam thing. Like I think of Gundam Wing, and you remember Hito, and he had his own. Everyone's got their own signature. There's a couple of those, but for the most part, it reminds me a lot of Zoids, where you get a few like really unique versions.
Oh man,
and you get a lot of like the same reproduction, like just like throwing out all those grunt versions. You know what I mean? So that's a show that I definitely wanted to recommend to you guys. I also watched Goblin Hunter. So with Goblin Hunter, I remembered I was talking with one of my buddies that I play Overwatch with about it, and he was like, well, dude, you need to get ready if you're going to watch it, because I understand this is kind of spoilers, but at the same time, I'm giving you guys the same preparation that I had going into it. He said, just get ready, because the very first episode, there's a rape.
Oh,
and I was like, really? And he goes, yeah, those goblins like to rape people. So I was like, oh, okay. So I watched it, right? And I ended up looking up after the fact, more about that scene. And there's obviously, I was like, oh, there's got to be controversy over this. Yes, it's essentially what it is. We had this term when I was in school. a weed out class where the first class of the semester is like extremely difficult or has some sort of aspect to it designed to make sure that you're committed to the show, because a lot of the concepts within the show have to do with the debauchery of the goblins and how evil they can be. And rape is essentially how they procreate. They steal women, they rape them, and that's how you get more goblins. So they essentially set up the main concept of the show within the first episode, but that's the only time that you're really faced with the fact of what they do, like, very bluntly. So if you can get to the first episode, just push through it, I can promise you you're in for a great anime. A very unique and great anime. And the main character is like it's one of those where you want the main character to be a total badass, and he freaking is. Like, enemies come at them, like super strong enemies, and you're like, oh crap, they're screwed. But then you remember that the main character is a total badass, and they're gonna be okay. And then you see this amazing fight. So it's one of those amazing ones. It kind of reminds me slightly of Slime, just because of the world that they're in. Have you guys seen Overlord at all?
Mm-mm.
Uh-huh.
Well, you guys should probably see Overlord too. Yeah, it reminds me of Overlord in that realm too. So it's very medieval, like Heroes Guild type thing going on. Just watch it, guys. I can't speak enough about the show. I was so impressed by it. There's a movie coming out this summer, I believe, next month in June. It's going to be subbed, and then I don't know how long it's going to take to dub it, but there's definitely going to be more seasons. It's just kind of a matter of time. Which leads me into the last thing I want to say about some anime. I know we're winding down here. There's something I've been really analyzing about my anime viewing in the past couple weeks, and that is how I've been very picky with what I watch. And a lot of it comes down to binge worthy.
Right.
I like to have multiple seasons that I can like really invest myself in an anime and like follow the character, and like it takes me a while to get through it. So like, of course, the number one in my resume as far as animes go, the number one example is One Piece, because there's so many freaking episodes. And that's the whole reason I got into it anyways, because I was like, okay, well, this will take me a while. And then you get multiple seasons of Sword Art Online, and there's a ton of episodes.
Fairy Tail.
Oh gosh, like so many so I'd watch all these long running animes. But at a certain point I had to realize there are other really good anime that might be designed to be a shorter story, but they complete themselves. Not necessarily where you watch it and it's like, oh, well, let's wait for the next season. And they're actually finish. And you're like, oh my gosh, this was an amazing story. I feel so good that I watched it. And I started watching more of those on Funimation and realized, like, this is the true value of this app, is to introduce you to these kind of animes that were like not long lasting, but they ran through and they were amazing. One of those that I'm watching right now, at least I suspect that this is one of them, is the heroic legend of Arslan.
Yes. I love that
I'm
one.
so satisfied with this anime. I'm in the very beginning of the second season, but I suspect that the story essentially will wrap itself up at the end of the second, and then you're not going to get any more after that.
And the voice acting in that one is fantastic.
It's freaking good. I'm very satisfied with this anime.
Yeah.
And it's really kind of like rekindled my love of the genre, and I've started adding a bunch of different ones to my list that I'm like really interested in checking out, whereas a couple months ago I was more interested in, well, what can I watch for a long time? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I would recommend that if you guys want to discuss anime with us and some of the things that, because I don't know about you guys, I've been watching a shit ton of anime lately, like a ton of different ones. So Yeah, especially because Bulba has kind of opened my mind to what different kind of anime can be. I did finish that what was that one high
Game?
school
Oh, DxD.
DD? Yeah, I finished it. I have mixed feelings because it's definitely overindulgent, and yet
Aside from the nakedness, what did you think of it?
the story was fantastic. The story was fantastic. I
Good.
think
Oh,
the
boy.
source
I'm
of
happy you thought
the,
so.
the source of his power is absolutely ridiculous.
It's great.
But-
What are you talking about?
But for the most part,
No,
the
not
story
but.
was actually really creative. Not butts, boobs. Yes,
Yes.
that led me to inquire in the forums of Funimation of other anime that are similar that might have a really good story that I might be overlooking because of the overwhelming fan service.
Okay, I'm
Which
going to
led
tell
me-
you right now that because you're willing to watch those now, Chivalry of a Failed Knight. It's on Hulu. Up Hulu.
You did mention that, and I did add that. That's on my
It
list
has
of
been
anime to
my
watch.
number one favorite anime.
Really?
Has it really? Okay,
Yes.
that's good to know.
And it's only 12 episodes. It kind of left it at a point where that maybe they'll continue on, but maybe not. It was made in
Interesting.
2015, so we'll see.
Oh, it's been a while. Shoot,
Yeah,
that's
it's been a while.
discouraging. So, and another one you might want to check out then. And I will say that it has a lot less nudity than High School DxD, but it's still prevalent. It's not like overwhelmingly overindulgent. It's just it's an element. Freezing. Have you heard of Freezing?
I have not.
Freezing, the story in Freezing, oh my god, it's so freaking creative. Beings have invaded Earth. They're interdimensional beings. It's doomsday level beings. Like, they want to annihilate. It kind of reminds me of Pacific Rim. And essentially,
Oh, awesome.
there's
You know
this.
what, Mike? Hold on. Let's all three of us. We're gonna watch a whole bunch of anime this week, and on the next episode, we're just gonna go ham on this stuff. Okay?
Yes, I agree. I think we should do that.
We should wrap it up now and just keep it all for next week.
Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed.
So definitely, I will recommend Freezing. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. Check that out, and then I will definitely look up Chivalry of a Failed Knight. Is it Chivalry of a Failed Knight?
Yeah, it is.
I will look that one up too. And then lastly, something that took my top list, like it's up there now. The Rising of a Shield Hero. And
That's recommended to me on Funimation.
I've mentioned
Is it
it
now?
to you guys.
Yeah.
They just put the dub up on. Actually, they were like it's weird. They had the show on Funimation, but there were no episodes. They just finally put all of them on there, and it's every Wednesday it airs. So you get a new episode every Wednesday. I think it's like 18 episodes deep now. I was so shocked how hooked I am on this anime. It's legitimately like, out of all the anime I'm watching right now, and I'm watching a bunch of different ones that are live right now, like Fairy Tail and Dragon Ball Super, and it's like the one that I want to see the most. I would recommend you guys check that one out as well.
Cool.
It's on Funimation.
Let's shut her down. I think the robotic voice means it's time for us to shut her down.
Yeah. That's what it is, man. It's communicating to us.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, guys, thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Gathering of Bros. This was a very fun episode for us because we got to catch up on a lot of the things that kind of got, left behind with our review last week. So thanks again. It's been fun. As always, you can find us at all the usual spots on our Twitter account at Gathering of Bros, or you can email us if you have any specifics that you want to talk to us about or hear us talk about on our shows. Feel free to let us know at gatheringofbros@gmail.com. Again, that's gatheringofbros@gmail.com. We really appreciate any and all feedback. We also have a Spotify account. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, and we have a YouTube channel. Bunch of different ways that you can check us out and view our content. Be sure to talk to us in our Discord. Let us know what games you play. Maybe we can play together. Just engage with us and have a good time. So thanks again, guys, for joining us today on Gathering of Bros. So much fun to do this show, guys. Am I right?
Yes,
You are
sir.
not wrong.
Well, thank you guys again for joining. Have a good rest of your evening, and as always, stay gold.
Peace out.
Peace.